Hi and welcome everyone. It's Patty from pspapercrafts. Happy Friday. We have a fun fold. We're past the holidays now, a day after Christmas. I can't believe it's over already. But we're going to make a different kind of fun fold today. It's called a shutter fold card. And I think it's really cute. I did a belly band on this one. The one I'm going to make on the video today will have just a closure. So you have choices. So this will come off. It's a birthday for the books, which I thought was cute. And here's the surprise. Isn't that cute? You're the best. So this is the kind of like a kaleidoscope kind of thing. It's called a shutter fold. And this one I used the product of the month paper. I don't know if you're familiar with this. We're at the end of the month already. But each month Stampin' Up! Is coming out with the product of the month. And if you place a $75 order, you can get the product for $5. And it's going to be all different things. And I love blue, so this is called the True Blue Florals. And these are the papers. So I know we're at the end of the month, but I figured I would show it in case you wanted to catch it before it's gone. So next month there'll be a whole different product. Isn't it pretty? It's Balmy Blue and Night of Navy and White. So a nice color combination. And then for the sentiment, I thought this was really cute. I love books, so I was kind of drawn to it. So a birthday for the book. So this is called On Display. It's in our new packaging, photopolymer. And then I used some of these brand new, these aren't available yet, Sparkle Dot Essentials. So this is with the new products that will launch on January 6th. We have new online exclusives and a new mini catalog. So let me just show you the cover. I can't show you the inside, but I did mail out catalogs to people who've ordered from me in the last 6 months. If you didn't get one and you want one, you can email me, patty@pspapercrafts.com, and I'll get this in the mail. So this is January 6th will be available, and then we also have new online exclusives. So enough of this. Let's put this aside. We'll leave the card out and get started. So I'm using new products from the new mini, and we're making a Valentine card. So Valentine cards are always fun. So let's get started. We're using this. These are the products from the Made with Love. This is the paper. It's a suite, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in the suite. You can buy the products individually or as part of the suite. So let me pull this down a little bit more. So I'll give you, a little idea of the paper. It's really cute. So double-sided, you get 2 of each. And these are, I think it's, boy, I'm having a hard time here. It's Real Red and Poppy Parade and maybe Flirty Flamingo. I'll let you know as soon as I finish flipping through it. There's all kinds of fun patterns and designs. This is the one we're using, the other side of this, if I can get there. But isn't it cute? And I love a striped pattern. I think those are fun for cards. And then the XOXO. So let me tell you, it tells you on the back of everything. Bubble Bath, Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, Real Red, and Strawberry Slush. I always forget about Strawberry Slush. So that's the paper. Strawberry Slush. That's a tough one to say. This is the Loose Valentine assortment. So these are fun for shaker cards, or you can just, use a tiny bit of glue. We might do that today. So I'm going to put these up here to embellish. There's this pretty ribbon, and this is, I think, Bubble Bath. It's a faux linen ribbon, and it is Bubble Bath. So that's cute. And then there's the stamp set, and then the dies. And the dies, these are the dies, so you can see what it looks like. Nice, pretty hearts. And then there's also an embossing folder. It's a 3D. And then there's these gusseted bags that have little tiny hearts on it. So these are the products in the suite. But you can, you can buy just the stamp set. You could buy the stamp set and dies as a bundle. Whatever you want, if you are interested. So let's put this aside and let's get our pieces out. I have a lot of the pieces cut, and there's a lot. It looks like it's complicated, but it's really not. I'll go through it slowly. I will have a link below for a project sheet that has all the instructions, but watch the video to really get the idea of how to make it. So first thing is I used Real Red. I was back and forth with Poppy Parade, Real Red, and I kind of like the dark behind this, so we went with Real Red. And this is a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11, so it's 5.5 by 8.5. So that's what we're starting with. This is your card base, and we are going to make a gatefold card, right? So we want to score it at 2 1/8 on both sides. So 2 1/8. And if you measure it exactly, it should meet in the middle. If not, you could always trim it off. 2 1/8. Sometimes you're just a little smidge off and things don't go exactly as planned. So let's see how we made out. So let's just fold this and we'll burnish it and then fold this in. And I find if it's a little bit tight, I'll just trim off a teeny tiny piece, but this looks okay to me. Okay, so basic gatefold. And then we need 2 pieces of our paper, and these are, tried to keep them together. Let's see. I did try to keep them together. Well, I think I'm off. It doesn't matter. So these are each, let me just look, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So they go down 1/4 each. And let's adhere these down. And we're just going to put one on each flap. And try to get it centered, straight, top, bottom, left, right, the whole 9 yards. All right, I can't believe we're already making Valentine's Day cards. I went into the store just a couple of days before Christmas and, you know, looking for, of course, last minute things, and all the Valentine stuff was out. I feel like this should go this way. It is an all over pattern, so there's not like a direction to it, but we'll just go like this. Okay, so here we are, good to go. All right, then you are going to, I'm leaving this out because we have some more to do, I think. Yes, we have some scoring to do. So then you're going to have another piece of cardstock. I used an alternate piece, so I used thick white, basic white on this. And then in here, I used Night of Navy. For this one, I'm using all of the same color. I'm using the Real Red and then just the stamping on the white. So this piece is 3 by 5.5. So it is going to be top to bottom here. And then this piece is going to lay on top of it. And this is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to adhere this down, and then we're going to cut a circle out of the middle after it's adhered. And that's giving us our opening for the shutter fold. Okay, and we're just going to lay that down. And then what I used for all of this, even for this card, I used the circles. So I used the 3rd from largest to cut through here, and then I used the 4th from largest to cut this, which is going to go behind with our sentiment, but we'll get there. So what you need are layering circles, so you can have a white one behind and then the kind of peekaboo hole. And so I use the stylish shapes. You can use whatever you want. You can use a hole punch or a punch, as long as you can get in the sides and have it centered. Sometimes you can't go in far enough. And then the other thing is, you don't want this bigger one to be wider than this. Other than that, any kind of circles that you want to use. Okay, so I've already created the background. And now what we're going to do is just cut right through both layers. So let me get my machine out. And we're going to use our base plate, our number 2 plate, and a bottom number 3, a cutting plate. And I keep one plate on the bottom that I always cut down into. And this is getting kind of old. Once this is old, I'll switch the top plate. Let me get my top plate. And I cut into it by accident one day. But I try to keep this not cut so I don't get impressions. Sometimes you get impressions on the top of whatever you're cutting. So I usually keep a bottom one. When I throw this one out, I'll make this the bottom and get a new top. So I'm really only replacing one plate at a time. That's just a little side note there. So we want this to be centered, top to bottom, left to right. And I always have my plate going over my sandwich. I have this in and this going over a little bit, so when you run it through, it's not so thick and it goes through a little bit easier. So I'm going to run it back. We are going through 2 layers. The designer series paper layers, they're pretty thin, so usually one will do it. But I thought this was cute. I saved mine. Might use it for something on another card, so I am saving it. We'll put this back, and I think we're done with this. Okay, so you with me? This piece is going to go in here. Okay, and we are going to use, I watched Lisa Curcio do this. I don't know if she's the creator, but she's the one that I watched the video. And let me just get my dimensionals. What she did was she put 4 dimensionals down, but you're only taking the backing off of the bottom 2 for now. So you want them all on, one in each corner, and you only want to take the bottom ones off. So we'll take them off, and then we're going to line this up and make sure it's centered. It goes all the way down to the bottom, and you want it to be even on the sides. Okay, so this is down and this can move because we need to get behind this to do the other parts. So now we have 2 pieces, and these pieces are 3.5 by 4. Both of them are exactly the same. And we're going to get our trimmer back out. Get rid of these little guys. These are everywhere. And we're going to have the 3.5 side up. Okay, so this is 3.5. And what we're going to do is we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then we're going to do this one. Same thing, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. And we'll burnish it, but we are going to kind of burnish it again a couple of times to make sure it's nice and kind of broken, folded, so the fibers are broken in it. So now what we want to do is we're going to create an X. What Lisa did was she went down the middle and the middle, but I'm going to do an X and then cut it. So you could do it either way. So on the 4-inch side, make sure you're doing this right. We want to go right. Oh, no, I'm sorry. If you want to do it Lisa's way, you're going to go to the 4-inch side on the top, and you are going to put a pencil mark down here at 2 inches, and then on the side, you're going to do 2 and... where is it? Or 1 3/4. And you're going to put a pencil mark down so you get the middle point. But I found if you just go point to point, and you're going to have this hidden, this is going to be the back of it, so it really doesn't matter to me. We're going to close this down. We're going to get a pencil, and we are going to mark it. And then we're going to do this way. And we're going to mark it. And what you're looking for is we're going to cut the bottom part, so you didn't have to go all the way up there. Let's do the same thing here. So we're doing an X, point to point. Make sure those points are right in that groove there. And we're just going to do a pencil mark, and then the same thing here. Okay, and then you can either cut this with your trimmer, but I found cutting it with the trimmer, it's hard to know where you are. So I thought just having the line all the way there, let's get rid of the trimmer. We want to cut this bottom triangle off. So we're just going to cut right along the line. And the line helps you cut it straight. And just, you know, kind of. So we're going to have it this way. So don't worry about erasing the pencils unless you feel you have to. I'm not that exact. And then go up here. I didn't even do a great job to the point, so I'm kind of correcting it as I cut. I was a little tiny bit off. All right, so those are garbage. These are our pieces that are going to create the shutter. So easy, right? It really is easy. So don't get overwhelmed with it. This is going to go back here. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to have this. So let's just fold this again and burnish it a couple of times just to make it really nice and flat. And the same thing with this. Let's get rid of these things. So again, we want the pencil side down. And what we're going to do is put adhesive, and you want a strong adhesive. I'm using the Seal Plus, which is a very strong adhesive. We're going to put this down here, and we want to line up the edge right on that score line so that it will fold. And we want to make sure that this and this are kind of even, right? So we want it centered. We want to look at it. It looks good in here. That looks good. And we're just going to close it. And remember, this is still loose. We're going to keep that loose until we do all of this. There's a reason for that. So we're going to put this down the same way. We're going to slide it. It can either go over or under this, whichever way you want. It doesn't matter. Do the same thing. We want to make sure that it's even top to bottom along the edge, and this looks good here. And then we're just going to close it down. So you have made a shutter card. Isn't that cute? So we want to have this loose side up. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp this, and then we're going to put it down here. So you want to make sure whatever you're stamping is I feel like that should open a little more. That's good. Whatever you're stamping is going to fit in here. Okay? So what I'm doing is, from this stamp set, I decided I would do Hugs and Kisses on the inside and Happy Valentine's Day on the outside. So I want Hugs and Kisses to be right in the middle, and I need to get my ink. I thought I had it with me, but I have the ink, and we're going to do our masking. So I'm going to take my masking tape. I want to break up Hugs and Kisses to be, or maybe it would be work. Actually, it will work. I don't need to do that. So I was going to break it into 3 lines, but let's just make it easy. We'll do Hugs and Kisses. And let's see how it works before we put any glue on it. It's going to fit right in here. I just want to see if we want to have anything above it, like a heart. I think that's good. Hugs and Kisses. Okay, so let's close this up. And now we're going to adhere this down. And this is the key to having that top open, because we want to put it in here and get it in place before we press it down. So you want it to be centered, straight, all those things. Okay? Hugs and Kisses. Now you don't have a place to really write. You could put a backing on it, or you could make it a full card. I don't think it needs anything. You could always write over here. You could put a little label or something here. I was going to die cut a heart. That was my plan, but it won't fit there. I thought maybe I could die cut a white heart and put it here, but it would probably interfere with this. So I don't know. I probably will just write on the red. I don't usually write on red, but I think it'll be okay. So for this one, I took the largest. So I really stuck with these dies, the stylish shapes. So I used the squares for this one. I think I used the second from biggest, and then the third from biggest for the white. This one, I wanted to do the Happy Valentine's Day. It's very big, so I needed to use the biggest one. So we're going to do that in Real Red again. You can use any of the pinks in here. Let me find it. Here we go. I'm going to start with Valentine's. And I actually went with this one, the second largest, but it just quite didn't fit. So I figured I would go big. I thought I would put a red behind it, but it wasn't going to fit, I don't think. It might have just sneaked by. So Valentine's, and we want Happy above it. And then Day below it. And then you can stamp some hearts if you want. There are these little hearts, but I think we'll use some of those loose hearts. I think they'll be good. Now this is the important thing for this, is we only want to put adhesive on this side so that it opens. If you put it over here, you're in trouble. So we're going to flip it like this, and we're going to stay on this side of the point, and we'll get some dimensionals wherever I put them. Here they are. And we're only going to go on this side. So, and I think I'll put a good amount to make sure that we're stuck down good. Do I want to put one more over here? Okay, that should be good. Probably too many. The dimensionals are pretty strong. If you ever try to take something off that has dimensionals on, you'll know what I'm talking about, right? All right, so now we want this to be right on the middle, just like this. Oh, I got this a little bit off. I'm going to sneak that in. I was a little bit over with that. Isn't that cute? So let's get some of these. Now these are a lot. So we're going to pour some into the top. And then we're going to use our take your pick tool and figure out where we want to put them. And then I'll put some glue down. I don't think I want a white one because it's white on white. I'm holding it down so it doesn't pop open on me. So maybe I'll just do the 3. All right, so I want to get my glue. And actually this glue seems a little light. Let's get one of these. I'm probably making it look harder than it is. I just don't want them to go flying, and I like the placement. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this up, put a little glue dot, put it down. Same thing with this. This is where you need another hand. And then one more. And it doesn't have to be so exact, right? Okay, and they may take a second to dry. So those are the 2 cards. And I think they're cute. Happy Valentine's Day, hugs and kisses. And then birthday for the books. You're the best. And this one you could definitely write inside or write on the back. So the belly band or just the opening. This keeps it closed. This, you know, it pops open a little bit, but I think that's fine. So we are at the end of December. This is my calendar. If you subscribe to my email list, you'll get this each month, and it just has my Friday fun folds. I do sketches and color combos that you could find on my blog or my Facebook page. And then there's just some inspirational ideas of what you can make. So if you want this, there's a link below to subscribe to my email list. There's a project sheet below to subscribe to get all the instructions, dimensions, all of that good stuff. I am also doing a paper share, and if you're interested in my paper share, I'll have a link below. And I did send it out with my catalogs, and I sent out a couple of emails. So you will, what is it? You have to sign up by December 30th, so that's just in a couple of days. You'll get 126 pieces of specialty or of designer series paper from the new online exclusives and the new catalog. It costs $55, which includes shipping. And I am throwing in, as a thank you, these flower accents, covered in flowers accents. So these are all these pretty die cuts that you can use white, or you can, you know, color them with blends or whatever. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link below, or you can always email me, patty@pspapercrafts.com. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next week. I'll have a new calendar out by the 1st, and we're going to be in 2026. I can't believe it. All right, take care.